when you struck out the first 7 guys in a row, there was a point where like there's a foul ball that lands in our dugout, and Carson is like gonna try and catch it over the railing, and in the dugout I'm like, no, drop it, like let it drop.
Guest of the day on FT Live, making his return. Now we talked to him virtually this time. Tarik Skubal from the Detroit Tigers joining us right now. Yeah, you had to back up for a sec. You're too tall, Tarik. You got to back up.
Yeah.
Just drop. You're too damn tall.
Oh, yeah. Plus, we want to see that lettuce you have working. It's perfect.
You're only 6'3". I feel like you're like 6'5". Has anyone ever lied in the reverse? You know how like Altuve, I think he's probably listed like 5'7" or 8", and it's like, dude, you're 5'5". But like, are you the opposite where you're listed 6'3", but you're kind of sneaky 6'4.5"?
I think I'm 6'3", all of 6'3". I don't know if it gets much bigger, but I think I'm 6'3". I don't know. I mean, I don't know the last time I've been like legit measured though, you know.
Dude,
but 6'3".
Listen, I sat next to you in spring training. I don't know what you're 6'3" or 6'4" or whatever how damn tall you are, but he's a freaking monster. I was like, how much do you weigh? Like really weigh? Like don't give me
255.
225 on my baseball card. No chance.
Yeah, 255 is like what I played at last year, and then that's kind of my weight right now. It'll vary, you know, depending on where we go or if we've been on the road at home, but I'm usually like right at 255, somewhere right there.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what you want for durability.
Yeah. But I just love you. You know what my favorite part was? He goes, it varies if we were on the road. When he's eating good on the road, he's like, oh, we had team dinners, you know, and Javi Baez is buying team dinners, or I'm at home and I eat ramen noodles, you know.
Yeah. If you're on the road, I mean, you get out of the Midwest pizza. I mean, you guys, Midwest pizza is it the real deal? I mean, as a West Coast guy, and we got a Midwest guy here. You know, he's gonna.
I'm not a deep dish Chicago style guy, but Detroit style is actually really good. I mean, we're in New York right now, so I think this is kind of the pizza capital of the world. But Detroit style is probably the second best style of pizza, in my opinion.
Tell people what that is. Tell people what Detroit style is, because I'll tell you, people don't know what Detroit style is.
It's not like deep dish is like, it feels almost like lasagna type, you know, where it's like you use a fork and a knife. It's not even like that. Like Detroit style is like a little bit thicker crust, and then I think they go cheese and then sauce on top, kind of. But it's good. It's really good. Served in squares too, not like a traditional pie, so it's good.
Squares, baby. And by the way, I just want to say this because Kratz has no idea. People that know Chicago pizza, it's not deep dish. That's for the tourists, dude. It's the thin crust, the super thin crust. You get in the pan, the cast iron pan that's been cooked about 7 million times, and it's just a little bit burned on the bottom. It's about this thick. That is true Chicago pizza, not the deep dish crap that you guys get when you go to, like, you know, Giordano's or wherever, you know, Lou Malnati's, those places. That's not real Chicago pizza. It's the real thin. And I love Detroit pizza because I love the squares. It brings me back when I was in like elementary school on Pizza Fridays, and you get the square of pizza, and you're like, oh, please let me get 2 pepperonis.
We had some yesterday before we left. Actually, it was in the clubhouse. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna eat 2 slices like it's nothing. Like it goes down quick. You don't feel bad about it. You feel good. It's like, all right.
All right, I want to get your take on a few relevant topics in the sport right now. First of all, are we okay with the way the home plate rule is with catchers? Did you see that play last night?
Am I okay with it? Or
yeah, are you okay with it? We just went over it. You saw Pete Alonso out at home with the relay to get him, and they felt like, some people felt like, including like their manager, like he was blocking the plate, Amaya.
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand it. One, like, it's like I get why the rule's in place, you know, whatever, but I thought he was also just safe, right? Like he was just like, his hand was in there. I didn't see a ton of angles, but I thought his hand was in there before he was tagged anyways. So like, whether he was blocking the plate, sure, that run shouldn't have counted, or how about him just being safe, normal? I don't know. I was confused by it.
No, it's a good call. We were going over that. Do you like AJ and me throwing out the elevated plate idea? Even if it's not during, let the pitch bounce if it's got to bounce. But then once the ball's in play, you just get like a little, just like a few inches up off the ground.
Like a action? No, that can never happen.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
No, they make it. No, they have a little air compressor in there, and as soon as the ball's in play, someone hits a button, it goes, and it makes it like a pillow. That way, you slide into like a pillow, so nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
We don't need any more changes to the game.
Oh.
An air compressor? We can't even get the pitch comm to work like 80% of the time. We're trying to get an air compressor in home plate. Thank you, Tarik. Thank you for telling them to stop.
All right, I got two more then. Tarik, one, because some fans asking about this. ABS, the automatic ball strike system. Did you deal with any of that or experience any of that, even on a rehab outing or anything? And do you think that we should get some type of that when it's ready?
Yeah, last year when I was rehabbing in Toledo, they did like the first 3 games of the week were ABS, and I had a game where it was ABS, and I don't know how they're going to get the strike zone right or define the strike zone, and how they're going to apply it to every hitter. The zone felt very small, like there was no top of the zone. Like I would get, I was pitching, and if you got like a swing and miss at the top of the zone, I would go look at what the ABS thought it was a strike, and it was like 7 balls up, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever gotten a swing and miss on a pitch 7 balls above the zone. It's like that just doesn't really happen. So yeah, I don't really know what this strike zone would be. I'm hearing the challenge is kind of the way to go. Give the team 3 challenges or whatever, and if they keep them and they get them right, they get to keep them, whatever it may be. I'm a fan of it. I mean, get rid of the really bad misses, but I also think the game's in a good spot right now, and baseball's, fun to watch. So I don't really know if I want to change much more.
Who benefits? Who benefits the most if they bring this into the big leagues with some of the stuff that dudes have? Is it a pitch? Is it a certain type of hitter? Is it a certain, throwing from this angle to get something? I don't know.
I'm thinking, hitters want the zone to be called correctly, but like if you go look at reports or those little umpire scorecards that are on Twitter, they're not horrible. There's just some bad misses, but I think that pitchers will figure out how to use the ABS to their advantage. Like all of a sudden, you might start seeing some really high curveballs all the time, or like high spin, because it's not really called a strike a ton, but if you can start landing curveballs at the top of the zone, you can't really swing at that a ton, and if you do swing, it's going to be really late. So yeah, and then like sometimes, you go to your glove side, and, I do this, I try to go to my glove side and I miss 18 inches on the other side of the plate and it's a strike, but it's never called. And I couldn't imagine a hitter liking that one where a catcher's like diving for a pitch and it's a called strike 3 or whatever. So, I honestly think pitchers will figure out how to use it to their advantage more than hitters would like the zone. I mean, the zone's the smallest it's ever been too right now. So,
which is probably attributing to more of the injuries because guys have to throw the absolute piss out of the baseball, and because the zone is so much smaller. But talking about an advantage for pitchers, let's talk about another advantage for pitchers. You have the ball in your hand. Is it okay to throw it, guys?
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of purposefully hitting guys just because it's dangerous. I think there's effectively pitching inside off the plate, and I'm a fan of that. I don't want guys to get comfortable and dive over the plate, so I'll pitch in off, on purpose. But I'm never trying to hit a guy. But there's all those kind of unwritten stuff that goes on in a game, and you got to protect your teammates. I'm a fan of having my teammates back for whatever reason. If there's something dirty that happens in the game, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of throwing at guys just because it's dangerous. the ball's coming in hard. You never know what can happen. You don't want to hurt a guy. It's just more about like sending a message to kind of clean the game up a little bit. But that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, so if I'll never face you, but if I did and I hit a homer off you and I just stood there and watched it and bat flipped and moonwalked around the bases and touched home like Prince Fielder did, and all my teammates were out there and they fell down like bowling pins, and then I, threw some confetti and popped champagne at home plate and I looked at you. Then my next at bat, I came up there and you're just like, all right, I'm just going to go away again. I would be like, yes, jackpot. I'm going to do it again. But see, that's where.
I don't think you're going to get the fastball away in that situation.
So where are you getting the fastball? Where's the fastball going then?
It's if you got an elbow guard, it's gonna come in right somewhere close. Hopefully.
Well, first of all, I was left-handed and my elbow guard was like this big, so I was all up diving out over the plate.
Oh, yeah. Tarik's out of the game. He's out of the game.
Yep, I win.
Nope. Out of the game.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hit you, but it's just gonna be enough to where it's like, hey, you need to stop getting comfortable in the box. But
see,
I have no problem like pimping homers and all that stuff. I think fans want to watch it, whatever. I don't have a problem with it. I want our guys to pimp every homer. It's hard to hit homers. Like pimp it, get excited, do something cool. Fire the boys up. I'm all for that. But I do think there's some part of the game where some of that's a little too far. There's some stuff that happens that's a little too far. But at the end of the day, who cares? The guys are just having fun and being themselves, and I think that's when baseball is the best to watch.
I love it. But I'll just tell you this: if I was ever going to face you, and I did do that, and then you threw one in, I would be the master of like sticking my and the umpire would be like, "Skubal, you're out of here. He threw at him." I'm like, "Yes, our team is going to win now because he threw at me, Mr. Umpire. He threw at me. Get him out of here. It was on purpose. He did it on purpose."
Yeah. I mean, hopefully umpires will have a little bit of feel in that aspect, but I don't.
We know. We got it. We got you. All the umpires are awesome. We got you.
Yeah, it's a much different game now than it was for sure.
Tarik, let's get to you and to the team in the division. So, team's playing well. Division is playing well.
Best division in baseball.
Do you say screw all the haters? Which, hey, not going to lie, we've said it many times too. Like, AL Central's worst division in baseball. And you go off records like last year, for example, it plays out that way. It's not playing this way. Is this an underrated division?
Yeah, I mean, every team in the big leagues is good. Every team is, it's hard to win in the big leagues. But yeah, I mean, we're off to a good start. The Royals are a good team. We got 3 against the Yankees, and we go to Cleveland, so we kind of, can kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, it's a good division. There's good teams. Minnesota can't lose right now. They've won 10 in a row or whatever it is, and it's a good division. There's good teams, and I think that makes the games really fun too. So that's what it's all about, is competing against the best teams and winning. So it's been a good start for us.
After you strike dudes out, I don't know if you could see it there, your highlights of you striking dudes out. You kind of walk around like, all right, it's fine. It's super easy. Like, I'm just going to go. So you've been dealing. Jack's been doing good. Maeda was struggling a little bit. What were you more excited to watch? Jack's 14 punch outs or Maeda coming through for the boys?
Yeah, I think they're both, great in their own. But Jack's, 14 punch outs, when he struck out the first 7 guys in a row, there was a point where, like, there's a foul ball that lands in our dugout, and Carson is, like, going to try and catch it over the railing. And in the dugout, I'm like, no, drop it. Like, let it drop. I want to see how many strikeouts this guy can get in a row before someone puts it in play, And that was the 7th one. He struck him out, like, 2 pitches later. That was, like, I'm watching that and I'm like, what is going on, right? I haven't seen such dominance like that. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, is he going to punch out 20? And he ends with 14. And I'm like, I don't even know if 20 is possible, but people have done it. And I'm like, I don't know how that's even possible to do, because I've never seen someone that locked. Like, go watch, not even the strikeout pitches, go watch the whole tape. It's like, execute, here, spin below, fastball at the bottom. He's throwing changeups. He doesn't even throw changeups. He's throwing changeups, and I'm like, he's throwing sinkers in the first, changeups in the first, and I'm like, oh, he's on one today. Because it's usually, fastball, slider, big breaking ball. So, yeah, I think that was as impressive of a performance as I've ever seen. And I would love to feel like that on the mound. Like, here's 7 strikeouts to start the game off. Like, good luck today. But yeah, that was impressive.
Was anything said? Like, was there anything like leading up to it? Like, kind of would like to, I got a little extra for this game. Do you guys go out and like watch him warm up before the game or anything like that?
Yeah, starters are always, our rotation's always out there watching pregame bullpens, and his pregame bullpen's a little bit different than everyone else's. It's like very relaxed, like easy. And then once the anthem happens, he like dials in. And I've always thought this is like super impressive. What he does is like, he's just like flipping stuff, feeling spin. Anthem happens, and it's like, boom, he turns it on. And it's like nutted fastball, great slider, fastball, and he's out of there. And then he goes into the game. And I'm like, dude, that was crazy to lock in from what he was doing. Anthem happens to then the next 8 pitches are just absolutely dialed to each side of the plate. But yeah, I'm sure there was a little bit of extra, juices flowing for him. Just knowing all those guys too, and his whole career was there. Yeah, I think, it obviously showed too. He pitched really, really well.
And just to give you I looked this up, stat context on the 20 strikeout games in the past. I just looked at, say, Kerry Wood, 122 pitches, Max Scherzer, 119. I mean, your coaches they're not going to let you guys do that to get to that number, Close.
I mean, even Jack, after he got done, he comes out of the game, and I was like, how'd that feel? Like, what was that just like? I didn't want to talk to you while the game was going on, but I mean, that's got to feel good, sitting on the, he's like, honestly, I'm exhausted right now. And I was like, that's how you should be. And that was, yeah, I don't know that Kerry Wood game. I mean, watching that, his stuff was insane. Like, the catcher could barely catch it. I don't even know who was catching, but it was like the glove was going everywhere, curveballs. I'm like, wow. The stuff that he had that day was high octane. I mean, Scherzer is Max Scherzer, right? But 20 strikeouts is special. What Clemens do it twice? I mean, it's
crazy. How do you simulate it for Jack and even for you, like when you have your best game? How do you run it back? I guess for Jack, it's easy. You guys all just act like you're playing the Cardinals every time he has a start for the rest of his tenure with the Tigers. Be like, all right, can't wait. We're facing the Cardinals today. Just put it in his head. And then he'll pitch differently in the regular season. I mean, come on. Like you said, there's extra juice. So how do you simulate that? Is there a way to kind of get that same level for every start?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's just like you kind of feed off the environment too. We had, great fans as well this last kind of homestand too with the draft and all that. That was in the city. So you kind of feed off that energy that was there. But I mean, that was game 1 of the doubleheader. I don't even think there was that many people there. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's on his start days in general. He's kind of on a different level. It's kind of one of the guys who just get out of the way, and he has his headphones in. You don't talk to him. He's doing his thing. But yeah, I think a lot of it is kind of environment created too. When you kind of get that adrenaline, that's why the playoff baseball, that environment's electric. So you just feed off of it. And that's harder to do over, a lot of games, especially in the middle of the summer when it start getting really hot. Ooh, my camera's gonna fall. But yeah.
So, are you a don't talk to me on start day guy, or are you I'll still be the same guy? Because there's different people,
Yeah, no, I'll mess around. I'll kind of do whatever. I used to be that guy, but it's just I thought it was like mentally like exhausting for me personally, just like to be so locked in the whole day. About 2 hours before the game, that's when I kind of start my routine. That's when I get in the hot tubs, and that's when I'll start to kind of slowly dial it in. But then once I walk outside, that's kind of when I'm pretty locked in on what I'm doing. But I used to be like a whole day guy, and by the time the game would start, I would already be tired. Like mentally, I'm already tired because like I've been locked in for 5 hours or whatever. So I just kind of transitioned to just, hey, keep it light, stay relaxed, mess around, do the crossword, whatever. And then when you kind of need to lock it in, throw your headphones in if you need to. Sometimes I don't even wear headphones. I'll just kind of go turn on music in the weight room or wherever I'm doing my prep stuff. So, but that's just me. Everybody's different too. I feel like more guys are on the, kind of headphone in thing about 3 hours before the game than not. But it didn't work for me. So I kind of went away from it.
I love it. I love it. First of all, I was going to ask you about your stuff and what you're throwing and what you feel so good, but crosswords, do you finish them? Are you a USA Today? Are you a New York Times guy? I mean, because I used to do the crossword every day.
Yeah, not New York Times, not the LA one either. I'm USA Today. I think that's the easiest one. I've kind of got the jargon down a little bit too. They kind of use reoccurring words and stuff like that. But I'm good at them. I'm decent at them. Sometimes I get a little jammed up, and I need Jake Rogers. Jake Rogers is really good at them. I'll ask for a little backup on the day I pitch. I have to finish it every day. I do as much as I can, and then once I'm stuck, then I kind of have Raj come over from his locker and be like, dude, give me a different clue to get this word or whatever it is. So, but yeah, USA Today.
There's staples, right? There's staples every day that you have to figure out. Once you learn the staples, and you can kind of figure it out, right? So you don't do Wordle, you don't.
Yeah, I do the Wordle every day too. I send that
connections,
to Raj.
Wordles, all that stuff.
Yeah, Wordle, crossword, and I think that's really I tried to do the the baseball. What's the baseball one?
Immaculate Grid.
Yeah, I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at it. My percentages are way too high. I'm not good at it, so I just stopped doing that.
You only know the recent people, so that's cool. But I do have yeah, also true, and not a lot of teammates. So I have one question for you, and then Kratz is going to ask you one. But next time you do, or a favor for you, next time you do the crossword tomorrow in the clubhouse, I want you to get Shelly Miller. Yes, I called him Shelly because that's what we used to call him. Shelly Miller, and I want you to film him trying to do the crossword.
He does it every day.
And then to have him, but he only gets like 4 words. He used to only get like 4 words. He used to sit there and do it, and he'd get like 4 words, and it was like enemy of dog, and it would be cat. And we're like, good, Shelby, you're really moving up in the world. So we used to make fun when
I think he does a little group effort over there. There's kind of, at home, there's all the relievers are kind of on one wall, and they kind of have a little group effort going on. So he does a good job on him, though. I mean, he scuffles a little bit, but he does a good job. I mean, Shelby's awesome, too. He's such a great dude all the time, too. He's so much fun to have. Watching him play ping pong is even better. That's like my favorite thing to watch is watch him and Lang play ping pong is about as good as it gets, too. So that's fun.
All right, well, make sure he's buying you dinners. Make sure he's buying you dinners from me. Tell him I said that he has to buy you dinners.
Got it.
Is he good at ping pong, or is it a debacle?
It is. It's not good. It's not a good brand of ping pong, but it is fun to watch. It is fun to watch. It's those two guys. Their personalities too are fun, and then you get them on a ping pong table, and I don't want to bag them, but they're not the best ping pong players, and they go at it, and it's it's fun. It's fun to watch.
All right. What else is fun to watch? This is the last question. We'll let you go. You spent like 3 minutes in the minor leagues. Paul Skeens has been in the minor leagues for like a minute and a half. As a elite level pitcher that you were ready for the big leagues sooner. Should guys like Paul Skeens stay down in the minor leagues to learn things, or when you're dominating like he is, should you just call him up and learn in the big leagues?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, let me figure out how to answer this one. Yeah, I think there's a lot of learning to happen in the big leagues. So there's a lot of development to happen in the big leagues. When I came up, I did not pitch well in 2020. And in 2019, in the minor leagues, I threw 75% fastballs or 80% fastballs. And then I get into the big leagues, and I tried to do that same thing. I didn't have feel for really much else. I was just like, when in doubt, throw a fastball by a guy, and it worked in the minor leagues. It didn't work so much in the big leagues, and I had to learn the lesson the hard way. I gave up 30 whatever homers in 2021 throughout the season, which is a lot, but like you learn from it. I wasn't even great in April or even May. I didn't have a great first 3 months in the big leagues, but I learned a ton. At times it was tough mentally. You pitch really well and you want to have the same success in the big leagues, and you're not having it, and then you kind of question your confidence a little bit. But I think with the guys that we had around, me and the coaching staff, they kind of just kept assuring, like, hey, just keep doing it. The results will start to show. So that was a huge thing. But yeah, I think if you're pitching really well, and there's no better place to learn than the big leagues, in my opinion. There's no better place to learn about yourself. There's no better place to learn about your teammates, your character, all that stuff, than when things are going well, in the big leagues. And, if you come up and fail, it's not the end of the world. Go back down to AAA and work on what didn't lead to success in the big leagues. Go work on it, go get better, and then you'll have another chance right away. So, do I think Paul Skeens is ready for the big leagues? Absolutely. Have you seen the stuff he throws? It's about as electric as it gets. And whether or not he even comes up and pitches well, I don't think it matters. I think he's going to learn a ton. His demeanor, I think, just watching the whole College World Series run last year, and the stuff that I've heard from, teammates of him that, mutually through the baseball world, like, he works his ass off. So I think he's going to be good for a very long time.
Yeah, perfectly stated. Tarik, great to have you on, man. Great to have you back on here. You're great. Really enjoy the interview. So keep doing your thing out there, dude. And also, I mean, you won't say it, but hopefully we'll see you in Texas for a little all-star action. I know it's early, but keep dealing, dude.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Of
nice
course.
haircut for the New York trip, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you. It was like 2 days. Thank you.
Got
Nice.
tightened up. Knew you were going to New York. I feel you.
Yeah.
New York and Cleveland, very similar. Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.